Hello, and welcome to a D&D 5e game that I am calling Tal'Dorei Born in Fire. I will be the DM for this campaign, and I am joined by 3 others from my friends and family. For all those who have watched the D&D actual play show Critical Role, you will recognize the world we are playing in, and also spoilers for Campaign 1. I apologize for any shoddy audio. We are working on improvements, and so for now, I hope you enjoy. We are in the land of Tal'Dorei, a curious land full of adventure, danger, and glory. Many centuries of war, but also many centuries of peace lie behind you. The most recent of those, the war against the Chroma Conclave, the great dragons that destroyed much of the landscape. Out of the south, where the elves live, and where the dense forests border the lands of Tal'Dorei, Azazel. You have been travelling with Fiona for just over a week, sleeping in inns or camping in groups with other travellers. Fiona is a mousy-haired gnome cleric with almost golden eyes and freckled cheeks. She wears a mix of leather and plate armor befitting her travelling ways, and is surprisingly strong for her size. It is strange travelling with her again. You were so young the last time, you can barely remember it, but you never forgot her kindness, and now, on your way north, she shows that warmth to most people you meet, helping and healing folks who are down by their luck. There's a reason they call her Fiona Balmhand. Passing north of the Dagger Bay Mountains, skirting the fringes of dividing plains, you join the Emerald Path, one of the few good roads crossing the plains, and began your journey to Emon. About a day's travel before reaching the city, Fiona took a detour, she says, to a place of worship that I tend to. It's a good 3-hour walk through some woods until Fiona stops before the remnants of an outer wall, overgrown and cracked. Azazel, do me a favour. Could you stay here and stand guard?
I'll gladly wait outside.
Thank you. She goes through this little entrance area, and you see her sort of make her way to this overgrown temple.
I'm standing outside. I'm a half-elven man, early 20s. As a half-elven person, we age pretty much like humans do. I have a rough, unshaved beard that's been growing for about 6 or 7 days for the trek that we've been walking. I have short hair, black, but it's not perfectly cut, so I maybe needed a haircut 3 weeks ago. The ears are definitely elven. They are long and go backwards, but the face is very much human. Wearing chainmail, leather boots, has a rapier on his back and a shield as well.
I would like you to make a perception check. As your hair begins to stand back on the back of your neck, you feel watched.
I have rolled a 9.
You look around and you hear sort of a rustling. You don't exactly see what it is until way too close, like a good 5 meters away from you, a black panther creeps out of the brush right next to the temple and sort of eyes you for just a moment.
By the Wild Mother, why is there such a creature so close to civilization?
So it starts to stalk you slightly, keeping its distance, but always keeping eye contact, moving in and out of the bushes.
I'm going to wait for just a second, and when it takes one step towards me, I'm going to make severe eye contact, smash my shield and sword together, and scream at it.
As soon as you do any kind of movement towards it, it turns and bolts. You scream after it. Only a few moments pass, and Fiona appears. Was there something out here? I heard you shouting.
Oh, the Wild Mother came visiting.
Azazel, I'm sorry. I took a moment in the temple, and I've had a vision. I have to leave east at once.
What do you mean?
I'm needed. It's complicated. I know that I cannot go on this path any longer. Due north of here, you'll find a place called the Scar. You'll know it when you see it. It is right on the boundary of the road to Emon. There you will meet a young woman, a student of the Arcane. She then roots around, and out of one of her pouches around her armor, she pulls out a little green bag, hands it to you, and says, This is for you. Do not show it to anyone who you do not believe is a true friend, but it may be important.
Okay, I will take it.
Hands you this little green bag, which has a diamond-shaped bronze token, which has a dot and a half-moon shape on it.
Fiona, we have not had a chance to see each other too often the last 10 years. But your visits have always given me great solace. And since my mother was not able to visit, I've always seen you as a protector of sorts. So I do trust you, and if you must go east, then there is no stopping that.
I feel that you will have your own share of things to do in Emon. I wish you good luck.
Then good luck on your travels.
Good luck on yours. She turns and leaves.
Wait, and as soon as she's left, I watch her go down the road.
She actually goes
immediately into that fucking temple. Check out what the fuck is in there.
It is the ruins of a small temple. It has only a partial roof. And interesting enough, there's even in the inside, there is no deity visible to who this was. Any statues or other kind of emblems have either been long destroyed or been taken. You notice that she has cleaned up a bit. The ferns have been pushed back. Some of them have been carefully cut to stop the plant life fully taking this central area. The altar has been cleaned off and all the dirt and plant life has been moved from it. Obviously, she took a moment to literally just clean the place, to restore some order to it, to maybe tame the wild that is trying to fully claim it.
Okay. I will take out my incense box and 4 candles. I will place them on the altar. I will light the incense, the candles, and I will do a quick prayer to the law bearer to ask for protection and guidance on my way towards civilization.
With the meeting with the panther fresh in your mind, you speak the words and hope that they fall on hearing ears.
I don't have that much hope, but I will pack in my things and then leave and make my way north.
As you pack up your things, you prepare, and you then cut your way through the forest, and you find, after a while, a small path, probably of a wild passage, that you can follow. And while it is not necessarily the safest path, and you wouldn't really want to stay the night here, you do hope that you will manage to find camp and the road, hopefully, before it gets too dark. What you didn't see while you were standing outside the temple, and what you did not see while the panther was there, was how Fiona, from behind a nook in the altar, took a little green bag and tucked it in before she went out to meet you.
Okay.
Inria,
hello.
It's morning, and you are in one of your chambers in one of the clasp's underground lairs. What are you doing right now?
Breakfast.
Okay, then one of the helpers has brought you a small tray of breakfast, and you're just packing up some things and just going through your stuff. You have an imagination of what your room would be looking like?
Quite hoarded, messy, and a lot of things strewn around the place with no order. My arcane focus is a ring, which occupies my whole hand. It is a very thick ring. I can't really do much with it. I also have a small dagger, which I tuck away at my waist. Very sort of strong-featured face, and a little bit derpy.
Oh, as in not that elegant.
Yeah, a little bit clumsy, and socially awkward.
As you'll sort of finish off your breakfast and get yourself just generally ready for the day, there's a knock at your door.
Yes, I say enter.
The door sort of cracks open, and you see a familiar face, even though not someone you've really interacted very much with. A very tall-built, stern-looking man with long blonde hair and a single red monocle over one eye. Weathered, but not too old. He has almost elven features, although you're quite sure he is a human. This is one of the leaders of at least this whole lair of the class, a man you know only as Shen, or Spireling Shen, as his title is.
Okay.
He's wearing a dark grey cloak and carries a bundle of white robes in his arm. Greetings, Miss Rowe. I hope I don't disturb.
Not at all. Quick question: is he very intimidating, or does he have a very authoritarian?
He has a very Lucius Malfoy air to him.
Oh, okay.
So he's smiling, but he definitely expects people to pay him respect.
Okay.
And
So, yeah.
as a leader of the class, you dare not think what this man is capable of.
Okay.
He continues, "We have been asked by an old ally to send someone to the southern outskirts of the Scar to retrieve a young paladin who's arriving there. He knows not of the dangers of this area. I believe that you are best suited to this task, as you can easily pass for a learned Lycelium student. And that is what I believe he has been told to look for. And at this moment he hands you the robes, and you do notice that they are robes of the Academy. And you've been asked to wear these kind of robes a few times when you have runs up and have to pass as one of the students.
Well, I take them from him and say, of course.
Yeah.
I'll get right to it.
Yes, pray, intercept him and escort him to the Burning Barrel Tavern, near the Frameleach outpost. You know where it is. There await a group of bards. Bring him to them. Now, ally or not, we are most interested in the goings-on there. So if you could stick around with them and report back whenever you return to the city, we would be most pleased.
Anything you wish, of course.
Interested to hear what you have to report when you return. Good luck. And then he would start to leave.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I put on the robes.
They're literally made to just go over what you wear normally, so it's just a white and blue sort of robe that you add on to what you're wearing already.
Yes, I make my way.
So you make your way through the quite luxurious headquarters and meet up in one of the boatyards where an old ferryman Tarek, who you know, I've met him a few times, ferries you out, paddles along the river, steering you through the myriad of tunnels until you at last, the sun hits you and you come out into the countryside, and he comes up near a little bank of trees, helps you out. As you near the lands east of Emon, you're once again stunned by the scale of this destruction. It's been 10 years since the group of dragons known as the Chroma Conclave descended on the cities of Tal'Dorei, sparking the great war that finally saw them banished or killed. And still, the realm around Emon will never fully recover from the great red dragon Thordak's elemental corruption. His presence not only incinerated his enemies, it wounded the land itself. The fields next to the road are a burnt wasteland of blackened, bubbling marshes, belching steam and the occasional tongue of flame. Further north, you can see the glow of the ever-burning forests. To enter the scar is to tempt death. The road you were walking on was only re-established a while ago to go around this destruction and runs on a high embankment like a dam, trying to keep the fires below contained. You pass many travellers, wagons and carts of families who are coming to Emon, merchants bringing wares, and keep an eye out for this weird paladin you've been told to look for. And at that point, I'd like you both, Inria and Azazel, to make a perception check. Inria, you see, after a while of walking, a young, half-elven man, black hair, with a big shield, looking quite lost. Just looking around, scratching his head. He looks travel-worn. He's been traveling for a while, and he looks like he's been fighting himself through a forest for a bit. Only paladin you've seen all day, and he is definitely on his own. He's definitely lost.
Yeah, I'll go up to him. Greetings. I see you're pretty lost. You're probably waiting for me.
You see what you can only describe as obviously an arcane student, wearing the robes of a young magi.
Blessed.
Okay.
This is fabulous. I was told to meet, I guess, you at the scar. And
Correct.
I found the scar. And now
And I am here.
you.
Yeah. Well, I've been told to bring you to a, what was it, tavern? I think it was a tavern.
Tavern of the Burning Barrel. You actually passed it on your way here.
Okay, well, follow me. I know where we have to go.
Okay, I have very few instructions, but my name is Azazel. Some people call me Doyle.
Okay.
Some call me Azazel.
Okay, Azazel. I'll probably call you Doyle. My name is Inria Rowe. Nice to meet you.
I practice a little bit of magic. Not well, that's not true really. I'm supposed to be learning soon. Maybe that's the point of this trip. I'm not quite sure. I'm supposed to go to a temple, but apparently we're going to a tavern.
Well, I don't know more than you do, my friend. But follow me. I'll lead you through the city.
Okay. You're from Emon?
Correct? I think I was born here. Was I born here?
Were you born here? You decide.
Oh, okay. Well, I grew up here, and I also witnessed the terrible destruction of the dragons that hit us only a decade ago.
I was lucky enough to be shacked up in a temple in Singorn around that time.
I start strolling into the direction of the...
Walk and talk. It's just some little... We talk about travel. Just
There-
Yeah, casual talk.
casual as most casually possible.
Finley, you have been traveling, Finley, across the plains for many sunrises now. Your mind aches just trying to understand how big this open area is. Only sometimes you come across the shelter of a small forest or rocky outcrop. Having punched one goblin scout and lain low as 2 war bands of orcs passed soon after, you're glad when you seem to leave their territory. That's a bit more than you were wanting to take on your own, at least. For 2 full days you see no one, and then you come across a strange sight. In front of you, the ground is covered in snow. Everything is white. You can see fields and even a broken windmill, all covered in white powder as far as you can see.
Probably cold because I'm always naked.
It's not cold, but
Okay.
yeah, it's very snowy. As I said, it's all white. Everything. The entire landscape just goes from this green, yellowy grass to this slightly overcast white landscape.
Do I see any signs of civilization? Because I'm running away from a bear, right? That's
It's been a
like-
while. You haven't seen him for a
Yeah.
while. The last thing that was dangerous was, as I said, the orcs, which don't seem to have followed you into this area. The bear was
Okay,
more
so
sort of
I-
like, when you left your forest, you sort of lost sight of that thing. But then you
Okay.
were out in the field, so you're like, oh, I'll just cross this field. And then days later, you're like, I'm still crossing this field. What the fuck?
Okay, so I go to this broken house and stuff.
So you start walking
Makes
through this, and you notice that the ground is weirdly, it doesn't crunch, it sort of puffs. And you actually notice that it's getting hotter. This is not snow, this is ash. The entire landscape around you is covered in ash.
Oh shit.
It gets almost uncomfortable, and you actually notice that the ground starts cracking. And in front of you, every now and then, you see a bit of a glow underground, as if something hot is underneath there.
I continue very carefully because I don't want to step on the lava.
You continue a while, and you almost get to the farmhouse when your foot breaks through. I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit.
You pull back as a good meter-sized part of the ground just breaks away and just sinks and opens up this glowing pit of hot magma. And you notice that behind you, the ground has started like falling in where your footsteps have and as soon as you stand too long here, the ground starts breaking. You're on super unstable ground.
Yeah, I turn around and
Okay.
get the fuck out of it.
You try and make your way back. You can't actually go straight back because you notice, it's one of those Mario things that you step on the ground and it sort of disappears after a while. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So you have to take a different route. And when you actually exit this weird ashen area, you find yourself in a strange swamp. You don't actually make it back to the grasslands. Hot steam bubbles up through the mud, and you swear you saw some fire off to your left. Water and heat are turning to steam, and there's a weird mist that limits your sight to a few dozen meters at best.
Does it look safe to enter? Because
Same thing when you were. I mean, the ground, apparently, you stop, look around, the ground doesn't seem to be collapsing behind you, which is nice. And then suddenly the ground begins to rumble. You hear well, it's not like under your feet, it's just generally like an earthquake. When you look around, you see a section of the swamp to your right begin to bulge upwards, and you see bursts of hot magma lava begin to burst out as in the middle of this rumbling ground, an oval-shaped rock pushes through the ground, about the size of a man. Another rumble, more lava bursts, this bubble grows higher and higher as a small island of molten rock surrounds this weird circular thing, and you see that rock has cracked. What do you do?
Is there any hill where I can hide behind? Because I want to take a look at it, but I want to get the fuck out of it now.
When you look around, you can see in the distance a slightly heightened area, but it's a good ways off, like 300 meters away maybe, where it looks like a little hill or something.
Away from this, right? Then that's perfect.
As you're moving away, you start picking up pace a bit because the rumbling gets quirker and you hear a loud crack, and you see the entire rock is splitting, and you can see it falling open as a massive eruption takes your entire vision. Magma bursts, stones and hot mud fling in the air, and you hear things splattering around in the swamp. Out of the corner of your eye, you see it split like an egg, and something red, hot, and glowing shoots out and upwards. A horrifying screech almost stops you in your tracks. You manage to continue running. You duck as there's a rush of hot air and a whooshing sound. The bubbling of lava increases, and now you see humanoid shapes rising up, made of pure fire. Through the break of the fog, you see the area, and you see it's actually raised like a massive dam, and you see green living trees on top. You see safety, and you're just running to get there. Inria, Azazel, you hear a rumbling, and then you see an explosion of fire and magma to your right off in the swamp, and you hear the screech. And suddenly the entire swamp begins bubbling up. Magma pushes through, and you see creatures, things making their way through the swamp and up the berm. You see in front of you a cart catch fire. Something latches on with a claw and starts attacking. You see behind you fire spread up. On both sides, things are breaking out of the swamp. And you look down in the swamp, and you see a little halfling running full sprint at the small berm that you're on.
And to our right, there are people being attacked.
On both sides of you see fires spreading on the road, and you're with a group of people. There's a small family, basically in a cart. The horse is now panicking, and the family's trying to control them because the path in front of you is fire. As you all hear this screeching, as out of the magma, this massive snake-like creature emerges and begins writhing its way up the side of the hill.
Oh my god! And this, can I try and find? Is this a natural creature?
This thing is made of pure fire.
So it is not.
If anything, it's not born naturally. It might be out of the natural world, but you've never seen one of these before. You don't know what this is. You see the family next to you panicking. They're now scrambling out of their wagon. The horse is panicking. The father's trying to calm it. You hear infants crying.
They cannot.
There's
gallop
no
away.
real way to get out of here, though.
Run towards the brush just in front of the forest. Delve into those bushes and don't come out until you hear this end.
Finley, you've just reached these two people. You see the elven or half-elven man already ordering the people off the cart. What are you guys doing?
I look at them. I take my breath. Well, nice to meet you. See you for the forest. At your service.
Leave the bags. Just fucking run. Hello. Oh, you're small and kind of. Wait, and this is a gnome?
He is a halfling.
Oh, okay.
Very
Oh, sexy. He's a sexy man.
Chunky boy.
Chugga boy. Ria, you've got spells, yes?
Yes, I have spells on hand. This shit's really weird.
Okay,
Then-
if you just take like 20 steps back and get ready, I'm gonna try and block it from you and you it from them. Young
Yeah.
boy, I mean, you're good with that hammer?
Yeah, I'll take care of the Prologe lads. Just stay behind. Let's go.
Okay. As you are talking this, you turn, and now you see that the creature breaches onto the top of the berm and screams. And at that point, I would like you all to roll initiative.
I got 20. I have very good.
Yeah. So that's Inrias 20, Finley's 11, the fire snake creature is 7, and Azazel, you are 5. Yeah, Inria, you see this being, it comes up, looking around, it sees you, it sees the horse, it sees the people. It's about 8 people who got out of the wagon. Most of them are gone, but 3 are still there, cowering into the wagon as this creature comes up and looks at them.
I told them to leave the luggage.
What do you do?
Well, I will go and attack. Am I close enough? Okay. I shout fire against fire, and I'm going to use firebolt.
That does not hit. Your hand wavers as it blasts the ground. The creature looks around and focuses on you guys as it screeches again.
I move backwards.
Finley!
I rage and I charge at it. Move and I attack with my hammer. 2 hands.
Mhm.
Yes, I am.
Nice. Very good. First attack roll. Perfect. So that is 19 damage. You do notice that your forehammer passes through it a bit before you actually catch purchase, and it's not like hitting a creature, it's more like hitting a fire. But you do definitely do damage. You pull a good chunk of it through as it sort of caves in, like you've hit like a burning log, and it bursts and breaks, but then starts to refill with that living fire that it's made of. You do take 2 fire damage, as the embers burst out of its wound and burn you a bit. The fire snake. It's gonna fuck you up, Finley, because you're the only one there, which is good. It's going to use multi-attack. It's going to bite and tail attack you. For the bite, that is an 8 only. I'm guessing that doesn't hit.
No.
And for the tail, it is a 15. That hits, okay. Tail attack does 2 bludgeoning and 2 fire damage. I don't know if you reduce fire damage.
No.
So that's 3 damage altogether. And it's going to use a bonus action to create a grass fire near you guys. Sparks are flying off and igniting the ground around it. It's going to create a fire on you, Finley. As the ground underneath your feet bursts into flame, you take 1 more damage. That is the creature's turn. Azazel, your turn.
How damaged does Finley look? Oh, like half-life. Okay, I'm going to run up to Finley. I'm going to heal him. My shield is strapped to my arm, so theoretically my hand is free. I'm going to lay it on his back. Gonna, with the other hand, grasp the symbol of my god, and I'm going to use lay on hands and restore 5 hit points. And then I'm going to flank the creature.
As you enter its range, as a reaction, you can use a tail whip. I would like you to do a dex saving throw or be knocked prone. You make the saving throw, so you do not get knocked prone. You dodge out of the way as you can finish a movement.
I'm going to go here.
Okay. At the end of your turn, this is not a legendary creature, but it is a villain, and it has something called villain actions. As a slightly more beefy version of its base creature, it is going to use a special kind of action that it has. It's going to use a tail push, and is going to push you 5 feet away from it. It literally just goes and just pushes you away.
Okay.
As you block it again, but you get moved back, your feet digging in, as it doesn't like being surrounded. Inria, your turn.
The thing is here, right? Is it good? Should I do it? Okay. Okay. I'm in a
cantrips.
guided ball. A flash of light streaks towards it,
Nice.
towards the thing. And okay, cool.
Yeah, make a range attack. This is powerful.
What did I do? Is that
Is this a
it?
spell?
This is a spell.
Cantrip.
Did I already do it?
The first spell
No.
of the campaign.
Oh,
This spell is sponsored by absolutely nobody.
oh, I mean, that's not very high.
What'd you get? I can't see.
I got an 8.
But is that
Yeah, you rolled a 3. That's really bad.
Oh, I shoot
Okay.
that far away. Oh, but look how far I can shoot. 120 feet. You got like a sniper.
So unfortunately, the first time you've really cast your spells in anger since you can remember, really, and the nerves hit you, you just don't manage to get that on target.
Yeah, I fumbled it. Like I said, I'm clumsy.
That's fine.
I just shout out, and then once again, I just move further away because I'm scared.
Very good. Okay. Any bonus actions, anything you want to do? Other than that, then it would be Finley's turn.
Nope.
I don't know if she's a sorcerer or not.
So,
but
Finley.
she has sorcery points.
No, she does not have
Bonus
social
action.
points.
Okay.
I don't think. Finley,
don't
you're
know
standing
what
in
it is.
you're standing in fire. The ground is on fire underneath your feet, and this creature is not nice.
Yeah, I'm very, very angry. This dude just shows up, burning everything, burning me. So I move away from the fire. I keep raging, and I try to smash him.
That hits.
That's
That-
underwhelming, but that's it.
5. What is that? That's 7 damage. Okay. Your hammer passes through it a bit until it actually catches. Again, doing less damage than you'd like, but definitely doing something. But again, you take 2 damage, 2 fire damage as it sprays you with its ichor. It's this blood is literally fire. And you get a few droplets. It burns your skin. So you take 1 damage through your rage haft from its heated
No,
body.
but rage doesn't have this type of damage,
Oh shit!
right?
It's fire damage. You're right. So you take
Yeah,
2 damage.
I'm not
Yeah,
happy
sorry.
with Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, you took
Yeah.
2 damage. Good point.
And doesn't help that I'm shirtless.
That does not help. No. At the end of your turn, it's going to use its second villain action, and it's going to move 10 feet.
Well,
Where
it's
it's going
favor is one.
but it's going to
Very
move
happy.
away from Azazel. It doesn't like the fact that you guys are both on its butt. So you're going to go 5. Yeah, it's just going to move to the other side of Finley. It's going to go here. Whoop.
Mhm.
As it sort of scissors through the fire, you swipe at it as it tries to move around you. So then it's the actual snake's turn, and it is again, unfortunately, going to go full in on Finley. Multi-attack, bite, tail. One bite. That is a
Finley.
14.
That hits.
That
Time
hits.
to make a new character.
Does 4 piercing and 4 fire, so that's 6 damage altogether.
Jesus. That's a lot for first level.
And this is a fucking beautiful creature. And then attacks you with its tail for 11.
That doesn't hit.
Nice. Okay, so you smack it with the tail, but then it bites in your arm. You're like, ah! Shake it off as it raises, hisses at you. You're happy it's not bigger, so it can't really swallow you, but it can definitely fucking maim you. And it's going to do the same thing again that it did last time. Going to cause a grass fire under your feet.
For fuck's sake.
Bonus action, grass fire.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
It does
I'm out
2
of
fire
field.
damage.
What?
2 fire damage.
Sure, fire damage.
Again.
3 HP left.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it, this guy's tough.
Yeah.
We have it. Also, me and Inria have done 0 damage so far.
Yeah.
We
Been
should
very-
probably pummel this thing.
Yeah.
Do the villagers get a turn at the
The
end?
villagers at the end of their actually they did at the end of the last go, they will have fled.
Good.
Run away.
Now I don't have to worry about them.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Azazel, your turn.
Well, there's fire in front of me, so I have to sort of flank around. I guess it's going to try and flick me again.
Mhm.
My movement is 30. So I'm going to try and see if I can circle around it. Yeah, I can. I'm just going to try and go here.
But around the top, right? So when you
Yes.
enter this space, which was how much
Yes.
movement was that? I'd like you to do a dexterity saving throw as it again flicks at you as you come into its space. You
That's a
are not
9.
prone. You run towards it and it slaps you in the face and you're like, whoop! And you find yourself on your back.
I've used
Um,
half my movement speed to get here. Now I've been knocked prone, so I use the
You
other
use
half of my
the rest of your
speed
movement to stand up.
stand up.
Yeah. So you are standing, but
Then-
you cannot flank it.
As I am
Yep.
standing in front of it, I will attack it. I'm using a rapier, and that's a 16 to
That
hit.
hits. That definitely hits.
And then I will do damage, which is 6 piercing damage.
Okay, very good. It's looking definitely wounded, but it is still very much alive. Inria, you see your 2 new friends, specifically that weird little halfling guy, pretty burnt. He's quite on fire, looking toasty.
Toasty.
But he's also
Right.
taken quite a few big chunks out of this weird fire thing. But yeah, you need to get that shit dealt with, or it's gonna probably
Yeah,
eat him
like,
next turn.
I feel real bad, so I'm gonna do my best now with this next spell.
Mhm.
I shout like, I'm getting him, I promise. Do my guiding bolt again.
Nice, do it. That hit.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. 19 radiant damage.
Whoa.
Perfect. How would you like to kill it? How would you like to do this?
The spell like goes through its chest and then it sort of explodes from the inside out.
So as it's sort of reeling back, and you actually both of you see that it's pulsing with magma. It looks like it's gonna like explode on its own already, and you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and you're already ducking as this bolt of radiant light hits through the back of its chest and bursts out of the top of its mouth, and it like, and then just falls into like basically a puddle of molten rock and magma.
That was amazing, guy.
Yeah,
Inria,
yeah. To do something.
I saw that you channeled the gods. That was radiant energy.
It was from my encountering. Yeah, I come closer to you guys.
I don't know if you just channeled the Dawn Father or what, but you definitely sent that creature to the Matron of Ravens.
Oh, you did the most work, you guys.
No, I doubt it. I mean, you missed twice, but that one time you hit, you obliterated that thing.
Yeah. I look very proud.
I look very burned.
Yes.
You also.
I think
I don't know your name.
Finley.
Finley.
Yes. What are your names?
Well, I'm Azazel Doyle.
And you
We've also just met. This is
My name's Inria Rowe.
Oh, nice to meet you both.
You have a second name, or you just go by Finley?
Finley from the forest.
Finley from the forest. A lot of F's in that name.
Always from my forest.
Well, fucking Finley from the forest, that was fucking amazing, if I can say so myself.
Well, just glad we got on this. So what was this thing, you guys?
Oh, yes, while we're at it, I'm going to try and see if anything else bubbled out of the earth over there.
Okay. You can see that the fires on the rest of the road seem to be dying down a bit. You assume that there were some fights that will have broken out, or whatever came up just ate and then left. And you see the swamp, definitely now less of a swamp, more of just a liquid magma, but it seemed to have stopped bubbling as much. You can't see any more or new creatures coming up out of it. This seems to be the only wave. Whatever spawned these creatures is now past.
These lands here, I don't know much, but I know that they're a front to the Wild Mother and they're a front to the Lawbearer. Just fire, marshes burning. This is literally an abomination. And to see these creatures bubble up out of the earth from so close to civilization is infuriating.
Reminds me of those 10 years ago
Thordak, you mean?
when the dragons hit.
Oh, yes. Everybody remembers where they were on that day. I was in the temple. You must have been here on Ground Zero.
Yeah, I witnessed it. Trauma. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Finley, I mean, it's very personal, but do you remember where you were?
I was probably in my forest minding my own business. I'm not really good with civilization.
You pray to the Wild Mother? You're one of her children?
I don't pray to anyone, to be honest, but if I would pray to someone, it would be to her, yes, the goddess of nature.
I understand. Well, you're... No, well, not your god of choice, but she's quite close to mine.
Seemed to be a very godly man.
I don't know, like I said, I grew up in a temple, not much choice, really. But it has given me solace, and something to believe in, and some purpose, I guess, which has led me here, so I guess for now it's my path. Where were you off to? You have somewhere you need to get to, Finley?
Well, not really. I am wandering around. I left my forest, so now I'm looking. I don't really know what to do with myself. I'm just living one day after the other.
That's actually quite amazing. I feel you. Well, we're going to Emon. It's an exciting place, I hear. It's a very large city, and apparently our first stop is a tavern. And I don't know if you have much gold, but I would definitely like to give you a beer to thank you for one, for saving those people and helping us do it.
Tanking all the fire.
Yes. Also, you look severely damaged. I'm a little bit concerned that we're just chatting.
Yes, well, I'm
Oh, by the way, you must be in pain. Do you mind me healing you?
actually don't have cure wounds anymore because it was level 1 spell.
Yeah, you're
Oh, did him.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry I offered.
Do you have a level 2 spell? No, right?
No.
Okay, so you're
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm sorry I can't do that after all.
You sort of like try, and then you notice like the power is like you haven't strained yourself for a while. You're like, oh shit, okay, this is tiring.
Yeah.
Fighting, but takes energy.
I'll try again later, I guess. That's
You understand? So, join us. We're off to a tavern, and I have just enough coin to spend for a round of drinks.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of big cities, but I could use a drink now.
Man of civilization. You truly are a man of the Wild Mother.
Inria, you actually know that the burning barrel is outside of the city. It's bordering on the scour that you're at right now.
Well, follow me, guys. I know the way.
So you follow Inria. Are you still wearing your robes, or have you taken them off, by the way, by now?
Oh, yeah. On the way, I just throw them in the bushes.
Nice.
What?
You see her take the white robes she's wearing, and underneath she's actually wearing combat gear, which makes sense for the fact that she was apparently combat ready and just disregards white robes.
I'm like, yeah, I've eat.
You are a strange student.
Yeah.
Very They're apparently very hot. And as you're walking now, the mist clears and you can see that weird. Well, you got Inria and Azazel, you see the first time, you see like a mini volcano that has risen up out of the swamp and is still bursting and bubbling magma. Although, Finley, you notice at the top that whatever that thing was, that egg, seems to be missing now. Like, you guys have seen this the first time. For you, Inria, that is weird because you know that this is actually flat land. This is a bog. There is no hills here. Like, where the fuck did that volcano come from? Like, it's maybe... it's like 50 meters across, maybe? So it's quite small. It's like a hill. But it wasn't there beforehand.
Okay.
Does this happen regularly here?
No.
I mean, I'm just concerned because we're so close to the city.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm wondering why not more people are running into this direction.
And there's no guards to protect the road. I mean, the bog seems to be considered to be somewhat safe.
You do definitely pass at least one completely burnt out wagon, and you see some sellswords who are tending to a wounded comrade. He seems to be fine, but he definitely, can see some severe burns. You come across like 2 or 3 other smaller areas that have apparently had some fights, but as you move away from this weird volcano thing, the swamp also goes back to normal. And
I would
quite
actually approach
localized.
the sellswords, but I don't need to roleplay it. I just would like to ask them what they saw. Was it the same creature or
they
a different
saw
creature?
2 basically, what they thought were 2 burning humans,
Okay.
which turned out to be basically little goblin-sized rock creatures that were made of. The inside was magma, and the outside was like hardened rock. And they fought them off, but one of them quite badly burned. It grabbed one of their comrades and tried to pull him, and the hand singed his flesh quite badly.
And I would also try and find out if this had ever happened before.
No one that you talk to knows. Only one guy. He's like, I've been frequenting this road for the last 2 years, and we've never had anything come up from the swamp like that. No.
Well, that's a bad omen. And then I'll make my way.
Okay.
While we're walking to the tavern, I tell him, I don't know if you guys saw that. So that creature came straight from the ground, from like a small volcano. Then this egg thing came out, and then the creature came out of this egg. Then after that, couldn't see the egg anymore, so I'm not sure where it went. But I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, we heard the screech, and then we heard the serpent later, and it was not the same.
Yeah, so those are 2 separate things.
There was definitely some event or some creature unseen making those ungodly noises.
I just hope it doesn't come back. But I have this feeling that it will.
I think there was enough witnesses that we don't really have to the guard or something, but maybe along the road we'll find somebody who can tell us something about the bog. But I don't think we can do much today.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we push on.
You follow Inria until you reach the tavern. The Burning Barrel is a rough, dull, and unwelcoming place. Thick, blackened tree trunks make up most of the building's outer structure. It's tough to see through the sooty glass windows, but you can hear some chatter from within. As you enter the tavern through the huge hardwood door, you're welcomed by thick air and aromas of what's probably food. The only thing that sort of breaks with this atmosphere is a slight musical tune, as you can hear someone plucking on a lute. As soon as you enter, you see a few people look up, and you see a half-orc, rowdy-looking but well-dressed, look up and go, "Ah!" and so greet you. "Friends, come over here."
Okay, we go.
Greetings.
He's rowdy looking but well dressed, pinks and purples almost at some points over simple black garbs. Black hair slicked back with some kind of grease that he uses. A rough looking angry chin, as the half orcs do, but general appearance looks more orky, but like well dressed, which is weird and a very interesting dynamic that he has. At the same table, you see a halfling who is basically playing his lute, and then he tunes it a bit. And next to this orc, you see what looks to be a violin case. And he stands up, greets you, and holds his hand out to Azazel, and goes, "Dr. Dranzel, nice to meet you."
Dr. Dranzel.
Yes, of Dr. Dranzel's spectacular traveling troupe. And you
So
are...
all three of you, all two of you. It's only two, right?
Yes, Shuri is out, but she'll be here soon.
3 bars. Done my job. Woo! Very good. Nice to meet you. My name is Inria.
Ah, the lady kisses your hand, and you feel this sort of rough, slightly beardy grate, but it's very gentle touch. And
I go, nice.
And who's this good fellow? And looks down at Finley.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Just have a stare off because I don't know what I'm doing. I just came here to drink.
He goes, well, where's my manners? So this is Kent Plucker, our lotist. And as I said, Shuri is coming soon. Can I offer you a drink?
Yes.
Beers all round. He waves to the tavern keeper.
I'll take a seat.
Yeah, I mean, there is here for you. So,
Azazels, good to see you. I've been waiting for you.
We never really got around to saying why we were going to this tavern. I'm a little bit caught off guard.
well, I was meant to bring you here, and here we are. So let's talk.
Did Fiona not brief you on that?
Well, she said I should go to Emon and meet a student of the arcane, which
Well,
we did at the Scar.
No, she's
And
supported you by me.
She was informed to bring me to this tavern and apparently to meet 3 bars.
Yes.
And here you are.
Here we are. And I'm happy you made it. It's very nice. You are one more numerous than I thought. And it wasn't Finley as you get this beer that's almost the size of your head served. So, you made it okay. I heard there was an explosion to the east. I don't know what was going on there, but weird things happening.
The bog festered some creatures of magma that attacked travelers, and we were sort of pulled into the thing.
That
Not
is,
the magma, the fight.
Slightly alarming. If you make small talk with him or not.
I'm polite and friendly, but you notice that I haven't really talked to
People.
too many people.
So halfway through talking, he sort of peters off and looks to the door and has this warm smile that comes over his face. And from the door comes in a dark-skinned beauty with tightly braided hair and a red and gold flowing dress, who comes up to you and then drapes herself around Dr. Dranzel as she sits by his side. And he goes, may I introduce Shuri Abaska, our dancer and flautist, and my beloved partner.
A pleasure.
And she goes, a pleasure to meet you. And so specifically you, Azazel, meets your eyes and holds that gaze for almost an uncomfortable amount of time.
Beat red. Azazel goes, beat red.
She sort of smiles coyly and then eventually looks away.
The demeanor of like a cool warrior turns into the demeanor of a 15-year-old boy who's never talked to a woman. Yeah, nice to meet you.
And
So you're here for me?
not directly. Dranzel means we've been here for about half a week, a bit longer maybe. And heard through the grapevine that Fiona was coming up and that she was bringing a young protege with her, which was, of course, always very interesting. She's a good friend of ours. We have, traveling troops. I'd sent a message. I thought maybe Fiona got it at some point. It was a while ago that maybe we could meet here.
Well, she did inform. Well, I started my training as a paladin. I'm not much of a paladin yet. But you asked about her. She's gone to the east. We were maybe halfway here from Singor, and then she got a vision of sorts and said she had to go to east. Where do you know her from? I don't really know a lot about her.
She travels and helps people, and we travel
That she
and
does.
help people in our own way.
Well, yes, with this entertainment and music and such.
Yes, we were meant to perform at the fortress, but were shunned at the gates. We were meant to have a gig there, but were not allowed in, which is apparently a theme that they have started following.
Okay. That's unfortunate for your employment opportunities.
Finley, you notice that Shuri has fixed you with almost a hungry gaze. It's slightly unsettling.
Well, I think she's hungry. But I have 6 intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
It's like, Finley, she was flirting with you. No, she was hungry.
Yeah, she must be hungry.
Okay. Yes, I'm a little bit put off by this sexual energy. I'm not saying that. So, do you have information from Fiona, or I'm a little
Not-
bit confused?
Not directly. For me, it was more of a thing. I was just hoping to meet you here. Always nice to see her young protege. She did mention you one or two times, actually. And then he fixes his eyes on Inria and goes, "Thank you very much for bringing him to me. Very glad I'm meeting you. Your name was again
Inria Row.
Inria Rowe. Very nice name. Beautiful name.
I'll stick around for a while. We've
You're welcome.
been through a lot.
Another round on me." And they bring another round. You get another pint set down in front of you. And he goes, "Actually, now that I see you here, maybe you could help me a bit. As I said, we wanted to get into the Flame Reach outpost and weren't let in, which is the first time that has happened. And as we asked around a bit, we seemed to find out that they have generally stopped letting people in or out. That no passage of personnel into that fortress for a couple of weeks now. I'm worried something is wrong, and maybe a paladin of the Lawbearer and a young Elysium student may be just what is needed to break through this web and expose the truth."
Okay. Well, as a friend of Fiona's, I don't really want to let you down on this, so I can try my best. Just go there, ask around, or maybe we see an opportunity to find out more than you were able to.
We weren't even let into the gates. They said they do not need charlatans in their fortress, and that was it.
Do you know of somebody inside?
Lord Runkle of the Bailey is the commander of the fortress. Man, I knew him. I wouldn't say I knew him well. He was to be honest, a bumbling idiot, if I must say anything. But apparently in his name, no one is entering or leaving.
Well, okay, well. Is it urgent, or could we go in the morn?
We've been here for, as I said, a good week. Just worry. It's
of course.
for such an important outpost, a strange turn of events that they are suddenly so secretive. I don't like that. So, yeah, you can spend the night. They do actually do a little moment of music. There's not really a stage here, so they just sit at a separate table and just do a little sing-song and shooty dances.
I avoid eye contact.
So, do you want to do anything else in that evening?
Get drunk. Finley! You son of a bitch. You said you go for the forest, yeah? But where's your family?
I have no family. Those bastards outcast me because someone stole some chickens from fucking McGregor. I don't want to talk about it. It's a long story, and it hurts my brain just to think about it.
Sounds tragic.
I've been living on my own since my early childhood. The forest provides me, and that's why I'm feeling for the forest. No,
Like
sir,
you survived out there.
it's all right. The forest gives me whatever I need. Nothing else needed. All of this luxurious place, this is not really needed to survive.
Oh! Well, this is actually a shithole.
It's very luxurious.
Oh,
Look at all these fancy lights.
that's true. In the forest,
Like
you
some
don't
candles.
have
Like two candles and one really old, badly charred gas lantern.
Oh, humble man. Well, I like it. You've got the spirit. You've been to the city before, or you're first?
This is my first big city, human city.
Well, I look forward to it in the morning. And I X my last beer, and I go to the rooms, I presume.
There's it's a one big sleeping area.
Are we
yeah,
sleeping in there?
You guys are put up in the sleep, or would normally be put up in the sleeping area. That seems to be
Okay.
when you ask, it's like, oh, yeah, the sleeping room is up there, literally the entire top level.
I have a blanket, so I just lie on the floor under a blanket.
I'm zonked.
You also take a good night's rest. You regain all of your hit points, all of your spells that you've spent, and wake up quite rested to something that is only, again, sort of sludge, OT sludge for breakfast. Inria, you have a basic idea of where the Flame Reach outpost is, even though you've never been there before. You assume that there must be some way of getting there from here by going north around the scar. In the morning, Dranzel greets you happily as you come down. He seems to be awake before you. And shortly after, Kent comes in from outside. Shuri is apparently missing again. Greetings. I hope your sleep was good, and wanted to wish you good luck at the Flame Reach.
Finley, you mind joining us on this little excursion? I mean, cities can be big and dangerous. So you, at least, will have company.
Come on, Finley. Join us.
I also nudge him and I think Enria thinks you're cute.
Well,
Well,
okay.
Dr. Danzel's wife definitely does.
She was just. Well, if I might go to the city someday, I might as well just join you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, we might get something out of it.
Sweet.
All right, let's go.
As you're exiting, you almost bump into Shuri, who meets you in the doorway, and specifically you, Azazel, sort of comes very close and sort of, again, holds eye contact with you as she passes.
I smile and try and stay very polite. And then as soon as she leaves, I just hit the ground. Don't look up for the next 20 minutes.
I'm not hyperventilating.
Not that bad, but very good afterwards.
You come to a small waypoint in the road, and you can see that the bog goes on for a bit, and the road actually goes down to the plains, and the land goes from this wet land to a dry, burnt ground. And in front of you, ever closer coming, is the outline of a burning forest that, from the stories at least, has been burning for the last 10 years. And at that time, I think we will cut, because that's pretty much exactly how far I prepared.
Very good. Very good.
Very nice.
Perfect.
First session, very, very efficient. Didn't know how it would go, but good start.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so far, all I know is that my character, all of the names of the gods.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
That's all I have for his personality so far. We'll be working on it as we go along.
My personality is also a big
Oh,
blank
yes.
space.
You're very good. I like it. It's shaded. There is. I need from next session onwards. I will be rolling inside check.
She is giving nothing.
She is giving nothing away because there is nothing to give yet. Because we're all working on our personality.
My personality is I like forest.
Yes.
Yes, Finley likes forest.
Good
although
personality.
Good hits things.